Shalom. I want to start off this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors is doing to the elders, which are the apostles of great millstone that rule well, that taught me this truth. Peace and blessings to the whole for the elect. All right, I'm Brother Quadar Malak. I want to bring out another lesson through the spirit, power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. May this lesson be edifying unto the elect. All right, and pretty much this lesson I want to get into is about how it wasn't Negroes selling Negroes, all right, during the earlier time of our captivity, all right, when we fled out of Jerusalem in 70 AD, all right, from Roman persecution, all right, and we were in the wilderness for 40 years, and when a nation rounded us up, because all these nations had a part of our slavery, all right, but you had Amalek, right, which is the chief house of Esau Edom, fund the slave cargo ships, all right, and you had these Hamites, all right, these so-called Africans that were rounding the Negroes up, all right. So sometimes you'll hear Esau Edom, or even Jake, that doesn't have the true knowledge or the history, that we sold each other into slavery, all right, but truly that wasn't the case, all right. No, as being so-called Negroes, we're not Africans, all right. So what? Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, as Israelites, we come through the line of Shem, all right, and all these Africans, so-called Africans, they descend from Ham. These Cushites, these Egyptians, they are descendants of Ham, all right. So we come from two different lineages, all right. So you didn't have Negroes selling Negroes. You had so-called Africans selling Jake, all right, into slavery, all right. So I just want to prove that we're not Africans, man, all right. Well, we're not so-called Africans, all right. This is Exodus 11:7. It says, "But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel." All right, so there's a difference. All right, there's a difference in the bloodline. All right, our heritage. All right, there's a difference within, our features. All right, the way we conduct ourselves. All right, now yeah, we have dark skin. Okay, we have dark skin. Yeah. At one point in time, everyone had dark skin. But what? The Lord separated the sons of Adam. So just because you may have dark skin, that don't mean you're the Lord's people. Just because you may have lighter skin, that doesn't mean you're not the Lord's people. You have to understand that it's not about skin color, all right, but the lineage of your father, all right? And that's pursuant to Numbers 1 and 18. All right, you can read that for yourself. All right, so the Lord put a difference in between us and the so-called Africans, right? So, actually, let's get something real quick. Now, this is out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, and we're gonna read Ham. All right, the definition. It says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became a progenitor of the dark races. Hear that? He became a progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. All right. So notice the key point is not the Negroes. So though he became a progenitor of the dark races, it wasn't of the Negroes. All right. It wasn't who you call the so-called African Americans today. All right. We are the Israelites. All right. But as for the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Cushites, they are descendants of Ham. We're descendants of Shem. All right. Now, even Pharaoh knew this. And we're going to prove that real quick. This is the book of Exodus. All right. Chapter 1, verse 19. And it says, and then the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Salakia, and the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and they delivered the midwives come in unto them. All right. So even in our time of being in captivity under Pharaoh, him and his wives even knew that there was a difference between the Senate, the Egyptian women, all right, and the Hebrew women. It said what our women were more lively. Our women had more of a lively spirit on them. All right, and if you ever talking to these Africans, or if you can peep their spirit, that a lot of them they will tell you that we don't like the so-called African Americans. They'll tell you that they think they're better than you. All right, and brothers that did many videos and many different clips, of how these so-called Africans truly feel. All right, about Jake. All right, they tell you that they don't like him. All right, and when the Lord come back, they're gonna go in slavery also, because they're not of the Lord's people. All right, they're gonna be in subjection under who the world says so-called Negroes, the Israelites. All right, just want to get the understanding of that. Now, actually, let's get that Numbers 1:18 that I quoted. For edification's sake, Numbers 1, verse 18. All right, this is Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. And it says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees. All right, and when you go into pedigrees is your lineage, man. All right, it says, after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward by their poles. So that's how you declare your bloodline. All right, you declare your bloodline through your father, because what? Your father carries the seed. All right. And hey, that's another indicator on how Amalek, all right, the ones who claim to be Jews today, are not the real Jews, because they claim to be they take the lineage after their mother. All right. So they're not sticking to the scriptures. How can they be the Lord's people? All right, when we declared off our father's sides, and they're doing the contrary. So they ain't doing it right. All right, they're not the Lord's people. So let's get something real quick. Now, this is quick genealogy, real quick. All right, because you had Adam. All right, Adam had Cain, Abel, and Seth. All right, Seth had Noah. And through Noah came Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right. Now, Shem had Terah. Terah had Haran. Haran and Abraham. All right. And through Abraham, you had Ishmael, Isaac, Median. And through Isaac, you had Jacob and Esau. All right. Which, the blessings went to Jacob. All right. And through Jacob, you had the 12 tribes. All right. So we're a chosen people. All right. And our lineage is based off our fathers. All right. Not through the mother. All right. So even from the beginning, the Lord had it set up for us to be the chosen through the lineage, of the seed of our fathers. All right, just to put that out there real quick. So, what you people have to understand is, getting back to the point, it wasn't Negroes selling Negroes into slavery. All right, and I hate when these Edomites, try to say that. All right, because they're not. Esau Edom is not going to hold himself accountable. All right, to the things that he done. He wants to point the finger. All right, and the Lord's going to jack him up too. The Lord going to put his ass in slavery when he comes back. All right, and that's why Babylon is falling, because we're in his present evil kingdom right now, and the Lord is bringing his ass down. All right, but when you bring, the accounts of Esau Edom and what he done, unto the Lord's people, what he points the finger at everybody else. He said, well, your people sold your people into slavery. And that wasn't the case. You had so-called Africans selling Negroes into slavery. Man, they're going to pay for that shit too. And Ishmael's going to pay for it too. All you nations. All right? The scriptures say all you nations. All right? Had a hand in putting our people in slavery. Also, let's get this next scripture real quick. Actually. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 3. Actually, let's start at 2. And it says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that have lifted up the head, and Salakit, hate or Salakit. Slow it down. Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right. And who's taking crafty counsel against was all these nations. All right. Starting with Esau Edom. They take crafty counsel, all right, against us, man. All right. Let's keep reading. It says, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may not be no more in remembrance. All right. And they've done that through history, putting these different, bywords on us, so we don't know who we truly were, going back and whitewashing, the darker images, of the scriptures. And it tells you about that, in the book of Maccabees. All right. Esau, Edom came, in the Renaissance era, which Renaissance mean rebirth. All right. And they came back into power, and guess what? They used iconoclasm. All right. Which means destroy images. So they came and destroyed all the images. All right. Because they didn't want us to be a people again. So that's why you ask the average Jake who he is. He's not going to know. He's going to say African American. All right. But when you say African, what are you truly saying? You're saying, well, the term Africa comes from Leo Scipius Africanus. All right. And that was an Edomite. America comes from what? Amerigo Vespucci. So what? You'll have to descend from 2 Edomites to be an African American. So that's confusion. Then Jacob say he's black. All right. When black just means, everything outside of being good, negative, dark, evil. And that's just a color. All right. But according to the scriptures, we're the Israelites. We're the Lord's chosen people. And why don't we know this? Because what? Let's read verse 4 again. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, all right, so-called white man, all right, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hergenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, all right, which descendants from him, with the inhabitants of Tyre. All these are the Philistines, Tyre, descendants of Ham, as we were talking about earlier. Ashur also joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, and to Sisera, and Jabin in the brook of Kinson. All right? Yeah, we can stop there. So notice all these different nations, they've consulted to come up against us. All right? Some of them being what? Descendants of Ham. All right, who are not the Lord's people. So what? The point being is that what? These so-called Africans, they're not our people. All right, and they had a hand in putting our people in slavery. All right, so they ass gonna go to slavery. The scriptures say he that leads into captivity should go into captivity. So everybody that talked shit and came up against the nation, they're gonna take their ass in slavery. All right. And hey, even you Jakes out there, you need to stop holding yourself accountable into the shit that Ham did, because you got Jakes that say, "Well, man, our people, man, we sold ourselves into slavery, man." Don't know what the fuck they talking about. All right, don't know history. So let's see. Yeah, kind of. Hey, that about does it for this lesson. All right, this was real quick, Lord willing. All right, the elect was edified. Until next time, all praise and glory be due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. The bonus to the elders, the apostles, great millstone. I'm going to say shalom.